This is my van. From a distance, it doesn't look very rusty. So let's take a closer look. So we have rust here. We have some more rust on the other side, right here. We also have a little bit of rust in the hinges. And right here, under the paint, is more rust that we need to take care of. If I were to let this go for another year, it could spread throughout the van and have a disastrous issue on the amount of money it'd take to take care of it. So now I'm going to show you how to get your rust off your van. What is rust? Rust is when water oxidizes with the metal and deteriorates it. Now let's look at an example. Down here we have the rust forming underneath the paint, forming a little bubble. Now in order to access the rust, we're going to need to remove that paint. Now, how are we going to remove it? We're going to use these tools. Any small screwdriver will do, or a hard metal brush. Anywhere, depending on how big the space is you need to access, just choose your tools. Now I have a Type 2 transporter Volkswagen Bus. It's a 1979 and the most common place for rust to form is in the drip tray, right up here. The drip tray is made to catch the water before it goes down inside the bus. When the water gets caught in it, there's a little slit right here so it comes down so it doesn't overflow. Now, if any dirt or anything gets up here and stays there, it's going to catch the water before it gets to the hole and it'll start to sit there and deteriorate the paint. Now let's remove some of, we already have a bunch of rust up here, so let's remove some of that rust and get it ready to get poured up 15 style. No, let's This is gonna be a fun project. Here we are a few days later, and after I went around the top drip tray with the screwdriver, I realized that the brush wasn't really gonna work. So we got a wire wheel in a pack of multiple different types, different sizes, and they worked really well on getting some of that initial rust, paint, and primer off, just to get it down to the bare metal and rust. Now this down to the bare metal and rust, you want to wash it off and start using the POR-15 kit. Okay, so now that we got most of the paint and rust off, we're going to start to clean the metal. We're using the marine cleaner. It's going to get any foreign residue off the rust so it's ready for the POR-15. What you want to do, you're going to mix it in with some water so it's a concentrate. You have to dilute it a little bit. And then we just have to spread it on. Once we've applied the marine cleaner, you're going to want to rinse it off, because you don't want any of that leftover oil or anything that it got off of the rust to stick on there. So we're just going to pour some water down the drip tray. That should go all the way down. Then I'll run down the drip tray's little holes. So after you rinse off the marine cleaner, you're going to want to dry it off so it's completely dry, and that's going to try and get as much of that residue that it removed out of there. Once that's done, we're going to start using the Prep and Ready. This is going to bond with the metal and allow for a better bonding with the POR-15. You're going to want to keep it wet with this for about 10 to 20 minutes, so you're going to want to recoat every few minutes. Make sure you be careful try not to get it on any stuff you're not going to repaint, because this is going to make a seal that is kind of hard to get off. Alright, so just like we rinsed off the marine cleaner, we're going to do it with this before it gets too dry. So let's just get the water in. Now before we did the Prep and Ready, since it does stick to paint and it discolors it, we did plug it up, but now that all the water's going in, it's gonna seep through. But try not to get the Prep and Ready on as much of the paint as you can. And we're just gonna dry it off. So into the water to make more rust. That's why we got blue rusty color. Okay, so now that we've done the prep and ready, we're gonna want to start using the POR-15. Now I already opened it, so I'm just gonna take off the lid and put it down. Now the first thing you gotta know is POR-15 bonds metal to metal. So before we do anything, we're gonna mask off around it so we can open it again. So I had to take my gloves off because the tape kept sticking to them. So now we're gonna do the masking. Now that you have your gloves on, we can start stirring it in. So we're gonna put this in, and we're just gonna mix it up a little bit. Okay. So it took quite a while to stir and get the solids in the bottom mixed up. So once you eventually get as mixed as you can, you're going to want to take your brush and just try and wipe off anything that's still, see, look at that, that's solid. So you're going to eventually be doing 2 coats, and they say to do 2 thin coats instead of 1 big one or 2 large ones. So you don't want to get it too thick on there. I mean, put a little bit extra if you have a big rust patch. And we're using the silver POR-15. There's 3 colors I already told you. The silver has the best filling properties, so if you have a lot of rust with a bunch of rivets and bumps, you're probably going to want to go with the silver. After you wait between 3 and 5 hours, you want to come and check it and touch it with your bare finger. It should be hard, or not, it shouldn't be liquidy, but it should snag your finger a little bit. Kind of like, I don't know, clay maybe. Alright, so once we've finished our second coat, wait for it to dry, and we're ready to prime. And once that's done, you're ready to paint. Not only have you fixed your rust, but it will now prevent for further rust. Yeah, so that's what I did. That's what I did here. Now I need to do the rest of the van. So, hope this video helps you.